Hi, girl. How are you?
Good. How are you?
You're chipper today. You're in it to win it today. She's like, it's a Tuesday. I'm in LA, and I'm just gonna roll with it. Right?
I'm using my new mic today.
She did get a microphone. Yeah. The group that we're working with, they said, because Lauren is in such a old building, it's old and it has really bad insulation. And they said, we really can't we're not picking up her voice. Because it's such a they really told her, they were like, you really shouldn't live there. It really should be condemned. And I said, I've been telling you that just by the look of it. Um, we told y'all last week about the yoga retreat Lauren and I went on together. And we both have decided to really stick with a growth mindset about would you say that?
Mm-hmm.
We thought that was really hard. And but we're not gonna let it, ruin our Q4. And you gotta turn lemons into lemonade, which is what I did. Bryn Lee, my teacher, she said, come to the studio, I want to talk to you. Remember I told you that?
Mm-hmm.
She said, I want to talk to you about what happened. And I was thinking she was going to say, I'm so sorry that was not up to par. It's my first one or something. Um, we just had a discussion and she said that some of the ladies were intimidated by me and they were intimidated by my truth telling. A lot of people are not comfortable hearing the truth and they don't want to take it and embrace it and run with it. And so she kind of expressed to me that the ladies weren't, whatever. There was some dust up with all the ladies. But I thought, and she said, but there is one gal who was extremely inspired by you and who thought everything you had to say was right on point. And she was like, Bonnie, this woman loved your tough love. She loved the way you said it like it was. And in that moment, Lauren, I've been doing this for you for a long time, mentoring you and I get on here and I give advice, but I was thinking, I think I want to start a life coaching firm. I think is what they call it. I just got this, shot of adrenaline. I thought that's what I'm gonna do. So I've been meeting with Deb. Her name's Deb. She's listening. Hey, Deb. Hey, girl. I've been working with her to try to help her. She's going through divorce. So she was like, do you think like, because I told her, I said, well, why don't we do this on a real basis? You can kind of be my guinea pig and I'll work with you, through this divorce. So, we've been meeting up. We've been having lunches and dinners and just, I've just been really trying to give her guidance on how to up level her life, how to get to the other side. I talked to you about the Tony Robbins, like running across the coals. That's like, I wanted to run across the coals. So Lauren's been in the background doing a lot of the administrative kind of stuff for the life coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta tell you, today I kind of hit a wall. Today I kind of woke up and I thought,
It's been really hard to get you to do stuff.
well, I just think, I like helping people. I like talking to people. I like when they tell me their problems and I give them solutions. I like to be a solution-based person, but it's starting to get depressing.
It's not that you have a lot of clients or anything. It's just
Mm.
that you don't really want to do what it takes to set up the business side. So
I don't know why I have to give
just
me
the
a
one
gig.
client.
Well, do you think Joel Osteen is setting up meetings and setting up blah, 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 and setting up a storefront? No, he has people to do that. And he's, working with the congregation. So I'm thinking it's more just that it's so depressing. Like after like the fourth time being around her, I thought, how do you do a whistle noise? Like, wow, this sucks, because here's the thing, Lauren. I thought after the first or second meeting, like she's going to blossom because it can't take that much time. It can't take more than a week, 2 weeks to shape up. And so now we're running on like, I think we met up like 8 times and like nothing's changing. So I think we're gonna have to can it. I think we're gonna have to just let it go.
Can it?
Can the whole process. I don't want. I think I'm gonna tell Deb. I think I'm gonna say, you know what? Let's.
Hold on. We booked a videographer and a sound studio, sound people to record videos for you
Yeah,
next
forget
week.
it. Forget it. Forget it. A strong CEO type person like I am, you have to know when to hold them and when to fold them. We got to fold them because this
You
is
want to
like
cancel all of that.
cancel it. Because here's one thing I'm going, wow, I can't be around this. I can't as a person, as a performer, be around this energy of stuck, not changing, not growing, not seeing their faults, not changing their hair, not changing their clothes. It's too much.
Well,
It's been
what about all the paperwork for your LLC, Dream Big LLC?
dream big. Well, I'd shred it because I think it's pretty sensitive. I think it's sensitive stuff and people's information's in there. I did some I mean, Dream Big LLC does not have to die, but I think this idea of being a quasi therapist does, because I'm just thinking, wow, like I'm an empath and I don't want dis-ease in my body because Deb's like, she came in yesterday and I'm thinking, you haven't colored your hair, which I told her to do. I told her to straighten her hair, just like I tell you to straighten your hair. I told her to get a pedicure because even though I'm not like people are not seeing it, she knows that it looks like Flintstone feet. And that's the thing. I'm going, you're seeing it before bed, and that affects your self-esteem and your insides. So, I mean, I think what I'm gonna say is let's pick back up at the beginning of the year, Jan 1. I think I'm gonna say let's pick back up. And in the meantime, I might have to change my number. Might have to change my number because I will say, and maybe it's my fault because I don't really have boundaries because she texts, calls.
Really?
Yeah, she calls me a lot. She calls me a lot.
What
And
have you guys been doing?
well,
What was the first meetup? Where'd you guys
because
go?
I don't have an office, because we don't have offices for Dream Big LLC yet.
We were working on it, but not anymore.
Well, maybe you should build a bridge and get over it. We've been kind of just going out on the town because I can't have her at the house because the boys are there and John's there, and John, she came to the house one time and John was like, there's something off about her. He was very judgmental. And so we've just been kind of going around. But like last night, it took too long. She wanted to do this riverboat thing. So that was kind of odd. But then I thought maybe I could do some metaphor of the
A
water.
riverboat.
Boat and staying afloat. Yeah, I was thinking maybe she was like, oh, I want to show you this riverboat, this thing. And I thought I could use that for my work.
For a coaching
doing the
session
shadow work with her.
on a riverboat.
Yeah. And but
That sounds like a date.
no, it's a family thing
Did
that
you have dinner?
they have. We had dinner. It's like some fresh catch market, some great fish, great wine. And I originally thought, well, maybe it's not so kosher to be drinking during our sessions, but then I thought, well, we're on session, 7 or 8 and nothing's changed. So I guess I was frustrated last. What is it?
What was she wearing?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I've told she's going through a divorce. And so I'm like, the quicker you got to get under somebody to get over somebody. And that's just the bottom line. I'll tell you that when things blow up for you. And I've told her she's got to switch up the vibe. I think she's kind of does this like, how would I describe it? Like she had on like long tacky shorts and like a button up, but like a t-shirt button up and a bow tie, and Crocs. And I was like, yeah, you look like you're going to Costco. You look like you went into Costco, threw a couple things in your cart because that's all they had that day, and that's what you put on. And if it's a money issue, I'd be willing to help her out because it's super not flattering. And then on top of that, she showed up last night. I will say this: I told her to switch up the hair. So you got to do a switch up because she had a whole helmet thing going on. Not flattering. She came and she had buzzed like the side of her hair. And I didn't want to be mean, but I thought that's worse. That looks worse.
You said that.
Well, I didn't say it. I think I'm going to send it in an email. I think I'm going to tell her in an email once I change my phone number and once I kind of.
Bonnie, are you leading her on? I
She's a
think she
client.
likes you.
She's a client.
You guys
Jed's
went
a
on a
client.
date on a riverboat. Sounds like a butch lesbian
Well, excuse me.
coming from
That's
yours
mighty
truly.
judgmental coming from you. And you know what?
Exactly.
She took me to see Hamilton. Okay. She took me to see Hamilton because everything that we do is cultural and it helps us, create some kind of metaphor for what's going on with her. And also with Hamilton, I've been dying to see it.
Hamilton tickets are like $500 each, aren't they?
They're expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. This run,
Inflation.
this tour has been very expensive. And I really wanted to see it. So what, no harm, no foul. What's the problem? She said, maybe we can do our next session Friday night, go to, Masters in Hamilton. I said, oh, all right. I mean, I'm not a traditional person. I'm not going to, meet it and have her lay on the couch and me sit and take notes. I'm not actually a psychiatrist, Lauren.
I know.
So, okay.
I know.
But we've met up and I'm just not seeing progression. And so, I mean, if you have some advice, I don't know. I think I have to tell her you're a failure right now. And I can't, I can either I can do one of two things. I can lie and I can say, she'll never know. Unless she listens to this. Oh, that'd be bad. If so, sorry, Deb. I'm sorry, honey. I could tell her, I'm going to talk to you first of the year, and then we change all the numbers and locks. Or I can just be blunt and say, I think you're hopeless. And I think that unless you switch up your vibe and start, lining up a roster, like I tell you, dates, I don't know what's going to get better for you. She's a CPA. It's a very boring profession. I don't think she's going to meet many men doing that.
Do you have fun when you guys like hang out?
She does a lot of the talking. She's really into basketball. She loves the Celtics, which I don't know much about. She's into kayaking. She's into big chunky watches, and her tastes are very she's into like Law and Order SVU, and she loves her cats, kind of like you, but she's lost. She dresses horribly, and that's her biggest problem. She won't stop texting me though, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do. What do you even say? What do you say to someone who's become kind of like a stalker? I guess you have to just tell them flat out, hey, freaking me out. I don't think she's what you said though. I think she's just different. Artsy.
Mm,
We saw what's that new movie? What's that one new movie that's out? It's a kids movie, but adults like it too. And she brought her son. She's like, I really want you to meet my son. So that was weird.
oh my gosh, Bonnie.
That threw me off. Anyway,
You hauling it.
I don't know what that means.
She's gonna ask you to move in next. Better be careful.
You would know.
Does John know?
That's what you do. Yeah, well, I told you John saw her and was like, something's off. Maybe what you're saying, he'll agree with, and he'll say, yeah, maybe that's true. But I don't think he'd be able to identify LGB in any way, shape, or form the way I do. I really know when someone's on the spectrum. I'm on the spectrum in other ways, intellectually, things like that. All right, so everyone's messaging me. They're like, we know nothing about John. We know nothing about your husband. You act like you have this amazing marriage, this amazing testimony. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit about my husband. Lauren, how would you describe his look? You've been around him. You love him. You guys, we just love to buddy up against Bonnie and tag team and be mean and nasty to her and go in the basement and listen to music and play
like
Xbox.
a professional football coach or something.
Oh, act like you don't know. He played professional football for a long time, for like 10 years. And now he kind of just hangs out on the side, different games, kind of flies around the country. He's kind of like a hype man. He also does a lot of brand deals. But I mean, people are like, what does he look like? What does he look like? He's no George Clooney. I will tell you that. But he's a nice man. He's a nice looking man. He loves a pinky ring. He loves how would you describe those hats he wears that are like kind of like Newsies hats, Newsy caps?
Like a
You know what I'm talking
grandpa.
about? Where he wears those kind of like hip hop hats. He kind of likes the hip hop scene, the hip hop vibe. Um, he's pretty loud. I mean, sometimes he's loud at night when he snores. He's like, and I've just resorted to like a punch right in the chest, like right in the sternum. I just, because talking doesn't do anything. If I say, hello, you're snoring, you're blowing my brains out, I'm going to blow my brains out, I'm going to go get the gun. He'll be like, oh, sorry, roll over and start snoring again in 4 minutes. But I do love him. But like when he's talking on the phone, he's like, hey, what are you doing out there? You know, from the basement. It's like, so nobody else can be in the house if you're on the phone. And he talks on speakerphone, the whole deal. But he's a lot of fun. He's my teddy bear. But he does bother me, and he does, we have had to go to therapy many times together as a couple because we have a lot of rage pent up. Speaking of rage pent up, John, while we were at the yoga retreat, did I tell you this? That John, Trish, and Jerry, her husband, went to the lake house, left the boys totally on their own at the house, just thought, oh, I'm gonna go to the lake and fish and have some beer and chill out. And Trisha's gonna come and, we'd like to cut up with Trisha because she's such an idiot, blah, blah, blah. I thought, well, yeah, I do too. So do I. So why'd you go the weekend? I'm not there. I love to make fun.
You didn't want Trish to come to the yoga retreat, though.
I sure didn't. And imagine if she did.
You can't be mad for him for making other plans.
If Trish came, what would happen is everybody in the group, it probably would have become kind of a Lord of the Flies thing. Like she would have been Piggy, and they would have had to take her and sacrifice her in the fire after like an hour. They would have been like, get rid of this one. She's going to get us all killed. So I'm glad she didn't come to their yoga retreat, but they all went to the lake house. And so what do you think Jacob did? As a young, red-blooded American male, he had a little bit of a party. And, was I upset that he kind of snuck it? Yes. But, he swore to me that there was no alcohol there. No CBD, no pot, no ketamine, no poppers, no nothing like that. No kissing, no canoodling. So it's fine that, whatever. But I found out because Tyler was there. My friend of the family, Tyler, was so concerned because he has access to all their iCloud and iMessage and stuff. As the coach, he's got to know what's going on with the team. And he went and checked on them and said, my husband. I thought, well, maybe I should just marry Tyler because he knows more about our family than you do. That's how I found out about it. They had a big bonfire in the back, which they love to do. So
did Jacob get in trouble for throwing a party?
He did get in trouble for throwing a party, and he didn't get in trouble with us, but he did get in trouble with the neighbor because the bonfire spread, which happens to everybody. It happens to the best of us, but it took out the neighbor's deck. So
oh my
they were
gosh.
like, and it was that meanie guy that came to the house because Jacob supposedly broke his front door, the glass door.
Oh, ring camera guy.
Yeah. Ring camera guy.
Not
this one
guy.
This one, right. He doesn't have a ring camera. Do you have one in the back? No. Unfortunately, this time he he pulled his phone out and he was able to film the boys trying to extinguish the fire, but it did end up taking the deck. But Trisha's husband Jerry's our lawyer, and he's a great lawyer, and I don't think we're gonna have to pay for it or anything, and I don't think Jacob's gonna go to he's obviously not gonna have to go to court or appear or anything. It's just a big misunderstanding. I thought, were you ever a kid? Did you ever have fun? Did you ever take a boat out? Did you ever set a bonfire that you threw a bottle of vodka in that spread all over the neighborhood? Yes, everybody's been there. So John didn't know it happened. He gets Dad of the Year. And really for me, the biggest thing is that Trish didn't invite me to the lake, and she was scheming and, doing everything behind everybody's back. And, with John and Jerry just acting like Three's Company, acting like she's, Pam Anderson at the lake with all the guys. And because she got John to go, Jacob thought he could have a party. And, that's not Jacob's fault. He's only 16 years old. He doesn't know any better. But Trisha does. So I'm not really speaking to her right now. I'm not happy with her behavior at all. I can tell you that.
Well,
I feel like, how about you pay for the deck? It's your fault. Get that?
it's not her fault.
What is your obsession with her? Why are you so obsessed with Trisha?
I just think you're pretty hard on her.
Well, I think you're not hard enough on people in your life. So that's the difference between you and me. Have you watched The Crown?
No.
I told you to. I specifically asked you to watch The Crown so we could discuss it.
It's boring.
What are you watching these days?
Big Mouth.
Isn't that a movie from like 2003?
No, it's like a cartoon.
Big Fish. That's Big Fish. Oh, Big Fish is such a good movie. I love it. You're watching like Dexter's Laboratory or Rugrats cartoons.
Big Mouth.
All right. Okay. That's what we call. See, maybe I should be a psychiatrist, because what I would say to that is it's stunted. She's stunted. That's, but people come to me and they're like, Bonnie, you're Lauren's more trouble than she's worth. You're having to teach her everything, do everything. And I say, and I'll use this as an example from now on. Lauren has, she's stuck at like 13. Bless her heart. That's why she watches cartoons and I think if she could get to the bottom of that, we'd get to the bottom of the girlfriend and the cats and the living in scary apartment, the car being filthy and stuff. Anyway, girl, do you have anything else you want to say to the folks at home?
No. Do you?
I guess I would just say, oh, Deb. I guess if Deb's listening, which I think she is, because she's tried to give me a lot of input on this, I would say, it's not me, it's you. And I suggest some sort of pharmaceutical intervention for you. But I can no longer be of service. I can no longer be a shoulder to cry on here. So I think honestly, just doing it like that is good enough. Like, I don't think I need to send a text or change the number. I think we just leave it at that and we move on from there.
Sounds good.
So I wish you the best. Do you have anything you'd like to say to Deb?
No.
All right. That's because, honestly,
sorry,
maybe you should talk to Deb. Maybe you should give her some advice.
Sure.
Because you seem way more simpatico with her than I do.
I don't know Deb, but
she wore those shoes that you wear. The web taped Tevas.
Closed toe Tevas. Everyone, I do not wear those shoes.
Liar.
I would never wear those.
She wears Tevas. She wears Converse.
Deb wears those.
All right. Well, I guess we just outed Deb. You did. So that seems pretty unethical and seems like something that you would scream at me about. When we're out at restaurants and I say, oh, he's gay, someone at dinner, you act like, Bonnie, shut up. You can't say that. That's wrong. That's unethical. Well, you just did it in front of all of America. Millions of listeners. So great.
Well,
maybe you should take it back. Okay. Do you want to take it back?
No.
All right. Well, thank y'all so much for listening today. Everyone give Deb your best. Hopefully. And hey, write into us. Our email is thebonniebarneshow@gmail.com. Is it 2 S's? People always ask me that.
Mm-hmm.
Bonnie
Barnes show.
SS. Like the SS Lauren or whatever. And if you have any men that you'd like to introduce Deb to, maybe that's something I could do for her. Maybe instead of being a life coach, I can be like a matchmaker. So, Deb, don't give up hope. Don't despair. I'm not going to, leave you forever, but I have to help you in a different capacity. So anybody with a nice single dad, in their 50s, send him my way and we'll set you up, girl. Don't you worry. All right, everyone. Hope you have a great week ahead.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.